What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love power, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today we're going to be talking about Power Book 3 Raising Kanan Season 2, Episode 7. This is the recap. Now I'm going to try my best to go over all the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. But man, what a crazy episode. This episode had a lot of action in it, a lot of drama, and I already know it's going to have everybody talking. But throughout the week, everybody was already talking about the so-called leak that was put out. Now, last Sunday, YouTube TV, they end up putting out the episode, y'all. So this episode's actually been out over a week. And like I always tell you guys, always check stars, all your streaming services, just to make sure they don't slip up. And last week, they slipped up. They had the episode on the app, I want to say until about Thursday. I know I checked on Thursday, and that's when they finally took it off. But I kept checking each day, and it was still up there until about Thursday, for me at least. But yes, on Sunday, they released the episode still. I checked at 12 o'clock on all my apps. I didn't see anything. I ended up checking later on throughout the day because I was trying to search a clip, and I saw that episode 7 was up. And this was around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock last Sunday. I checked YouTube TV and I seen it. And I was like, oh, I already know this is going to get put out. Of course, a lot of people, they end up uploading it. And of course, a lot of people was able to see the episode. I didn't talk about it because of copyright reasonings. That's the only reason I didn't talk about this, leak getting put out there. And I know a lot of people was hitting me up, asking me about the leak. They wanted me to talk about it. They wanted me to see it. 9 times out of 10, if it's a leak or any type of information like that that gets put out, especially a full episode that's, uploaded on like YouTube TV or stars, I'm usually going to see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm usually going to see it because I check the app throughout the day, even if it is a break. This is why I always tell you guys to make sure you always checking, because a lot of the times, and this happens every year. I mean, I repeat this every single year. This same conversation that I'm having, I have the same conversation every single year. They always slip up. So always check when they go on break, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to be some type of leak eventually, right? But besides the leaks, the episode was straight up fire. Had a lot of people talking. A lot of people still didn't see the episode. A lot of people didn't even know about the leak. So we still going to do the regular recap and just go over this episode. It was a crazy episode. Your girl Rock, she was about to take out Symphony. And I'm looking like, really? So you going to take him out? I mean, I understand the principles when it comes to doing this, Rock. But it's crazy because Rock, she doesn't give you a chance to explain yourself. She takes you out just like that. All she needs is a little bit of info, and she's made up her decision on what she really wants to do. She did the same thing with Scrappy, and of course, she's about to do the same thing with Symphony. And hell, y'all saw what happened to D-Wiz, but Rock doesn't play around. I'm glad she did not pull the trigger. She put the gun down, and nothing happened. It's just crazy because Symphony he is loyal to her. The only reason he even told her about Detective Burke coming to him is because he loves her, and he cares for her and Kanan. And so of course he is going to be loyal and tell her information. He didn't have to do that. He could have easily just left and said nothing, right? But he was loyal. Scrappy, he was loyal, right? Sad thing about Scrappy is in this episode, we found out the truth. The fan theory was right. That man wasn't no rat. We talked about this. We knew he wasn't no rat. It was his mom's. So of course Rock was kind of shaky about that because she's like, man, I made the wrong decision based on what Detective Howard had to say, right? So we're going to talk about that in this recap. A lot of different things happen. Of course, Kanan clapped Palomar's cheeks. That boy was living his best life. But we know Rock, she about to know. And she found out in this episode, well, they didn't really show us. They just showed Corrine going to her. But we know based on that episode 8 trailer, it's about to go down. And also in this episode, we saw Marvin set up the game plan with Marco Boselli. It went sideways. We knew this was going to happen. So now they're going to have to deal with those consequences. And these going to be some deadly consequences because we know the Italians, they don't play. And that whole game plan, it was horrible. You know what I'm saying? Because oh boy, Pee Wee, we knew he was going to mess up. So we're going to talk about that as well. In Rock and Cartier done this whole game plan on her taking over his spot. So it's about to get crazy in these last 3 episodes. So let's begin. What did we see in episode 7 titled No Love Lost? Now the episode starts out with Jukebox She's at Nicole's gravesite, and you already know she's still going through it. We know Nicole and Jukebox was real close, and it's a difficult time for her. But her pops ends up coming up there. You know what I'm saying? Nicole's dad comes up there. He's having a conversation with Jukebox. Jukebox is telling him she's sorry for what happened, and it seems like she's going to tell him more information about what happened to Nicole, right? But he stops her. He says, look, I don't want to know, anything else. You know what I'm saying? He tells Jukebox that Nicole's mom and him, they're going to have a divorce, and he planned on divorcing her when Nicole went to college, and that, Jukebox, she made Nicole happy, and that's all that really matters. Tells Jukebox if it's anything that she needs, let him know. He does ask about that tape that Nicole and Jukebox had with them singing on it, and he wants to know where it's at. We know Jukebox, she went and took that tape from Nicole's room last season, and it got damaged, right? And in this episode, we know Jukebox is going to go and fix that tape. Y'all let me know. I could have sworn that tape got destroyed or something happened to it when Jukebox and Marvin was having that fight. But like I said, Jukebox, she said, you know what, I'm going to fix it and give it to him, so that way he can still have those memories of his daughter. Now, we get to your boy Lulu, and he is clapping Zisa's cheeks. He ain't wasting no time. He's like, look, I'm going ahead and hit this in the studio. He was having some T-Pain studio love up in there, having a good old time. But the whole time we know Lulu, all he's thinking about is the record getting played on the radio. That's all he's talking about. Man, are they ever going to play this record? And I'm thinking like, man, I'm on my Pee Wee on house party type vibes, because I know when I'm up in those cheeks, that's all I'm thinking about. But this boy, he thinking about some radio play. Zeus is like, look, boy, clap these cheeks. We ain't got time for all that other stuff. And these guys walk up and they say they represent Linton Manley, right? And they're telling him that Crown, they owe them money. I think he said around $50K, and he put up the studio for collateral. And if they don't get their money, that means that studio, it's gonna be theirs or whatever, right? So we know Lulu, he ain't having it. He's like, all right, it is what it is. But we know throughout the episode, Lulu was trying to get some money. But man, this is the last thing that Lulu was trying to deal with. Crown having issues. And the sad thing is, Crown ain't here no more. So you already know Lulu was upset about this. And, after they leave, Zeus is like, look, you gonna finish? You gonna finish clapping these cheeks? Lulu like, hell nah. Like, I ain't got time for that. I gotta get this money, which that's understandable, boy, because you done messed up big time. Now, Marvin, he goes and he meets up with Marco Borselli, and the fan prediction came true. We talked about Marvin having the Italians do his dirty work, take out Tony Deep Throat, because he cannot go to that side of town without everybody watching his every move, right? And he tells him, look, I'll pay you, I believe he said $5,000 to get the job done. And Marco was telling him, he'll think about it. But no one needs to know about this. His pops does not need to know about this. So it goes to show you that Marco was trying to do this on his own. He didn't want his peoples knowing anything about this. But Marco, you made a mistake because you brought Pee Wee with you. Like, you don't bring this dude with you because you know he's a screw up. He just messed up the last job. So why would you bring him along with this one? Like, it made no sense. And I could have sworn this dude was still healing from the last time he got popped, right? So we already knew from the beginning that this whole game plan was not about to go as planned. Now, we get to Cartier, Dunn's, Rock, and we meet a new character. I believe his name is Tremont. And it seems like Tremont and Cartier, they had some issues. Tremont didn't like how Cartier was trying to take advantage, or at least take credit for a lot of the money that he's making. And Tremont's like, look, I make my own money. And we know Cartier, he did not want to hear that right there, especially in front of Rock. So he gets pissed off at him, and they're supposed to be meeting up later. Now, Cartier tells Rock that Tremont sits over his distro in Maryland and in DC, right? So Rock, she's already taking notes like, okay, he has that connection out there. I already see some tension up in the air. I'm going to take advantage of this. Now, your boy Cartier talking about Tremont won't have anything or no one to sell to but his mama if it wasn't for me, so we know he's definitely taking up, credit for everything or all the success that Tremont has. And as I told you, he did not like what happened between those two while Rock was sitting right there. Now, Rock will go and have a conversation with Tremont later on in the episode, and we know this Abraham character was mentioned as well in this conversation, which we will meet later on in the episode as well. And I was talking about Cartier and Rock this week. If you've seen the videos, I mentioned how Rock, all she's doing is taking everything that he is telling her, and she's going to use it for her advantage. That's my prediction for her, and so far, that's exactly what she's doing. Cartier, yes, he is dangerous. He has money. He is the connect and everything like that. But his big mistake is, trying to impress Rock. And he's talking entirely too much. He's telling her how he's doing his business, telling her where he's doing his business at. That's the huge mistake. On top of that, you just met her. You just met Rock. So why are you opening up like that? And she's already seeing that you got issues with your associates. So you already know what she gonna do. And as I told you guys, if Rock is willing to bypass the Italians and not listen to them, she will do the same thing to Cartier done. She does not give a damn. But I told you guys also that even though she's watching his every move, I'm pretty sure she is being watched as well. We know that your boy Tremont was watching her in this episode. And I won't be surprised if Cartier is watching as well. But man, she needs to watch herself. She can't just think that she's going to be able to just do these things without any consequences. But we're definitely going to find out soon. Then we get to Kanan and Palomar. And Kanan goes over there to drop off the gun that she gave him in the last episode. Of course, he thanks her. And he was looking for Corrine, but she was not there. So Kanan's like, look, I got to get up out of here. But Palomar, she was not having it. She's telling Kanan, how she felt responsible if anything would have happened to him. And, she was just pretty much just pushing up on Kanan. She gave him a kiss. Kanan pushed back like, I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? You are Corrine's mother. But once she told him that she got, her needs and that she's a woman first, your boy Kanan said, screw all that. Plus, that Anita Baker was playing. And you already know, when you hear that song, you already know what time it is. Your boy Kanan clapped those cheeks. And you already know he's never going to forget this moment. Now, Corrine will walk in on him later on in the episode, but as of right now, Kanan is definitely enjoying the time that he's having with her moms. I just can't wait to next week's episode to see what's going to happen where Rock, confronts her, because it's not going to be pretty. But what did you guys think about Kanan hooking up with Palomar? We knew it was going to happen. We can just tell based on how she was pushing up on him and the looks she continued to give him throughout these episodes. Now, right after that, we can hear the pastor talking about do not have sexual relations with both a woman and her daughter. And he's also talking about, being gay. I mean, pretty much that's what he is talking about and how sinful it is. And you can tell Jukebox is feeling that pressure. We know Jukebox and Kenya, they're going to have a crazy conversation once Kenya finds out about how Jukebox is really living. But this whole scene was tense because you can tell Jukebox felt like, man, I'm being judged by, how I really am. And she's not liking it. But Jukebox, she wants to prove to her mother that she can be the daughter that, she missed out on, right? Now, Corey, he is staring Jukebox down. We know this guy likes her. He pretty much told her this a few episodes back. And in this episode, he was able to get her number. And let's just be honest. Jukebox only gave him her number because she saw her mother out there staring. And she wanted, to put on a front like she's, really attracted to this dude. And she's just doing it because her mom is out there. That's it. But we know the real Jukebox. We know this is not what she likes. I mean, I guess they had a cool date later on in the episode, but we know eventually Jukebox will show her true self. Now, we get to Lulu. We know Lulu's struggling with his money. He needs all the money he can get. He goes to Marvin's spot. He takes the cash. They ain't even count it at all. Lulu talking about he gonna count it in his head or whatever. I mean, this is a huge mistake. And when Rock finds out about Lulu's actions, she's gonna be pissed off. And Marvin knows this. He knows if Rock finds out, it ain't even an if, when she finds out about what Lulu was doing, how he's moving, she's gonna be upset. And she's gonna take her frustrations out on whoever slipped up. Now, your boy Detective Howard, he finds out the truth. And finally, we get to see it. He finds out that the CI was Scrappy's mom's the whole time. It was not Scrappy. They wanted to use her at these, card games to get information from all the players that was there. And, Detective Payne or whatever, he would get that information and use it for his own advantage in his investigations and stuff like that. But once Detective Howard found out that it was her, he was like, man, I done messed up. You know what I'm saying? I done messed up. I done gave Rock the wrong information. Scrappy done lost his life for no reason, which is sad because we know Scrappy was loyal. And the last thing that you want to lose is a loyal soldier like him. But hey, it is what it is. They're going to have to deal with those consequences. And I'm going to tell you right now, based on what happened with Scrappy and Rock finding out the truth, it probably helped her at the end of the episode make up a decision on not taking out Symphony, because we know she slipped up in the past. And to be honest, she could not really afford to take out someone else that was loyal to her, in my opinion. Now, We finally have Marvin and Jukebox having a conversation, and that's because Marvin decided to stick around this time. He didn't just walk out. He said, you know what? We got to talk, especially about Kenya. He tells her, yes, he's not the best father. He made a lot of mistakes. He screwed up, but he did not leave. He states that Kenya, she pretty much just had her and ran. That's it. She ran from both of us. And at the end of the day, she's going to do the exact same thing. She's going to just look out for herself and do her. And I'm going to tell you right now, once Kenya does find out about Jukebox, we already know that's going to be an issue. We've been talking about this since day one. And Marvin, he ain't the best dad, but I will give him his props. He didn't walk away. Yes, he screwed up. We know this dude screwed up with his daughter, but I give him his props for just staying there no matter what, trying to fix it. And yes, some of the things that he's saying about Kenya is out of anger and what she's put him through. But I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of it is true. This is the reason why Rock was pissed off when she learned that Jukebox went and had a conversation with her mom and finding out that Kenya never came to Jukebox at all. Jukebox had to go and seek her out. So even though right now things seem cool, I got a feeling things are not going to end that way. I believe Kenya and Jukebox will have an outing, and she's going to be upset at her mom because her mom is probably not going to accept how she's living. And I can be completely wrong, but based on what we've been seeing with this church stuff and how strict it is and how Kenya, is living, I just got that funny feeling it's not going to end well. You guys let me know what y'all think about this, what you think about Marvin and Kenya. It was a lot of mixed opinions about this whole topic of discussion. As I told you guys, Marvin did not walk away no matter what. He wasn't perfect. And there's some things about Kenya that I think we still need to find out about. She's talking about she was scared and she wasn't ready, but I got a feeling there was more to it. We know Lulu was talking about she was getting clapped up by NBA players. So what else was Kenya on back in the day? Hopefully we can find out by the end of the season. Now we get to Rock and Tremont, and she's pretty much telling him like, look, she can offer him, more money and better product and less headache if he does business with her instead of Cartier does, right? And I'm gonna tell you right now, this is what we've been talking about. We knew eventually Rock would try to do this. She would use some of the stuff that Cartier told her for her own advantage. I want to see how this whole game plan is going to play out with Rock doing this, because we know this Tremont character is still a new character. She does not know everything about him. She's telling him, look, I know, a lot about you, but he's telling her he does not know her at all. And he only does business with people that he knows. And how does she not know he may not go back to Cartier and tell him what was going down with her? And she's pretty much telling him, you probably don't want to do that because most likely doing business with Cartier is something that you don't want to do in the future based on what is going down right now. I mean, he's cutting you out, and based on your face, because we know he came back with a bruise on that cheek. So Cartier probably done busted him up in the face, similar to how he did do last week. So your boy Tremont ain't trying to do no business with Cartier. But I will say this, even though we don't know a lot about his character, he is smart by following Rock, making sure he can really do business with her. He's making sure he knows a lot about her, which is something that you need to do if you're going to do business with anybody. And as far as we know, Rock does not know anything about, Tremont using Abraham to follow Rock and get information on her. We got to see how everything plays out to see exactly how much Rock does know and if this whole strategy is actually going to work. Now we get to Symphony and Kanan. This is the exclusive clip that they put out. And we know Symphony is telling him that he is going to be moving to North Carolina. He has a new job offer out there. And he's just telling Kanan this because he wants Kanan to go back and tell Rock. That's what he really wants, right? And we know Rock is not going to take this lightly, right? She's going to take this serious, especially after Symphony tells her he was pulled over by thirsty detective Burke. But it's kind of going to be sad when, your boy Symphony does leave, because he is a positive figure in Kanan's life, and he really does care about Kanan and Rock, and he wants the best for him. And let's just be honest, they learned a lot from Symphony, man. So hopefully everything does go well for him. Now, thirsty ass Detective Burke is outside watching, plotting and planning, looking for her opportunity to go in there and ask this man some questions. But we know Symphony, he ain't no rat, and he's very smart. He knows all the laws, you know what I'm saying? He knows his rights. And Detective Burke thought she can get some information up out of him, which he ain't really tell her too much in my opinion. You guys let me know. Should he have told Rock? Because it seemed like his loyalty was about to cost him his life, similar to Scrappy, but we know Scrappy did lie about the card game. He didn't tell Rock all the details. But Symphony, at least he's going to Rock, telling her he got pulled over by a thirsty Detective Burke, and she was asking about Kanan and all that stuff. So this way, Rock knows that Detective Burke is on her case, and she wants to find out some information. This dude did not have to tell her anything. He could have just left and left it like that. But we know this guy was loyal. So like I said, y'all let me know what y'all thought about that. Now, Rock gets some good news about the home she was trying to get. I guess the homeowners, they love the offer that she presented, but it seems like the homeowners association, they still need some more proof for income, proof that Rock can pay, fees down the line just in case something happens or whatever. I mean, it's all types of different things that Rock is going to have to do. But Rock tells this lady, look, don't worry about it. Just tell them I own a studio and I got a lawnmower, so we going to be good. And for her to say she owns a studio, I got a question for you guys, because we know Lulu, he made a deal with Cartier Duns about giving 50% up of the studio to him, for his protection and things like that. Now, did your girl Rock make that move with Crown Camacho? They didn't necessarily show us that she made the deal. We know Crown told her about him giving her pretty much the majority of the studio for nothing, right? But we never actually saw it happen. And Rock told Lulu about Crown going behind his back, trying to make that deal. So I guess we're going to see when Rock finds out about the deal Lulu just made with Cartier Duns and how that goes. But I'm going to tell you right now, this whole studio thing, I don't see it ending well with Lulu, Cartier Duns, and Rock. And also seeing that Rock is going behind his back, making moves with Tremont. I just don't see all of this ending well. It's going to be some mess, a lot of mess down the line in my opinion. Now, Jukebox goes and gets the tape fixed that she had with her and Nicole, because she wants to give this copy of the tape to Nicole's pops James, which is a good deed. She felt bad about what happened and she wants to go out and do something good. And I think this is smart for Jukebox to do. On top of that, James told her, like, look, if it's anything that she needs, he got her. So when James does get that tape, I believe he knows Jukebox did it. I mean, he didn't see anybody, but he literally just asked her about that tape. So it only makes sense to me that he would think Jukebox was the one that fixed it. Now, we get to Unique and Rorel, and Rorel is telling Unique, like, look, do you think it's cool that you making moves behind Rock's back or whatever? She doesn't know about the things that you're doing up in New Jersey. And Unique is telling him, look, he's not about to just sit back and allow Rock to plot and plan on him. It ain't gonna happen this time around. He tells Rorel, like, Rock moved you from the 40s to out here for a reason, because she wants all of her problems out here. She's pretty much just buying time before she makes her move. And he be damned if he's going to be taken out this time around, which is smart. It is smart that, he's plotting and planning on not going down like he did the last time. But I'm going to tell you what, at the very beginning of this scene, we heard Unique talking to his baby's mom. So that's who I assume he was talking to. I always told you, I got that funny feeling something's going to happen to Unique or his family, because they continue to hint at it. We saw his baby's mom at the beginning of the season looking shook when she saw Rock. So do not be surprised if something happens. They keep throwing little jabs out there like something may happen. It's a reason why they keep bringing up the baby's moms, in my opinion, and even his son. So we're going to see what's going to happen down the line. They do that with a lot of characters. They continue to bring them in every now and then, just letting us know that eventually we're going to get the conclusion of their storyline. And I just got that funny feeling that Unique is in a rude awakening when it comes to his family and keeping them safe. Now, we know Marco Boselli, he pulls up on them and he wants to know some information about Marvin. And he wants to know if Marvin is good for the money, right? Unique says F Marvin. He don't like Marvin, let's just be honest. But Unique does state that Marvin, if he owes you some money, he gonna pay you. You know what I'm saying? Marvin is good for the money. And that's all Marco Boselli needed to know. Now, Unique, he told Rorel, if Marvin is involved, if he's working with him, expect something bad to happen. So he even knows. He knows Marvin in this whole game plan, whatever is about to go down, most likely is not going to work. Which at the end of the day, we know this is going to come back on Unique in the next episode, because Sal Boselli finding out about his son being taken out, he going to be pissed off, and he's going to be more pissed off because Unique pretty much put out the word that Rock is good people to work with. That's the only reason that Sal Boselli made the deal with Rock in the first place. A better deal than before, right? Now, it also depends on the information that Pee Wee Ernest knows best, dude. We know he is leaking out, right? In the next episode, we saw him in the episode 8 trailer. And if he is able to get some information out there to Sal Boselli about what happened, he's going to be even more upset just learning all the details about what happened to his son. But they don't play, trust me. If he's losing a kid, most likely he's going to be looking for blood. What do y'all think about that? Now, we get to thirsty Detective Burke, and she's just not going to stop. She said, you know what? I need that file, that undercover file from Detective Howard. I need to know who he was working with, who was his CI, and that's exactly what she does. She goes and she gets this information. The cop that's giving her the information ain't supposed to be doing it, but Detective Burke is supposed to be helping him out and his family. So, of course, he's going to do whatever it takes to help her out to get what he wants. But while she's gathering all this information, running her mouth, we see the other officer over there. He's peeping game. He understands, like, okay, so she's plotting and planning on Detective Howard, trying to get information on him. You already know he's going to go and let Detective Howard know that Burke is on his back, and she's trying to gather information on his life, which is not going to be cool. And we know Detective Howard will make his move on Burke. We saw some of it in this episode, but once he finds out that she went behind his back and looked up on his undercover file, he's going to be even more upset, in my opinion. Now, we get to Rock and Joaquin, and your girl Juliana, she is there as well. She done cleaned herself up, y'all. She done cleaned herself up. She told Joaquin about Unique, the whole kidnapping and all the stuff that's been going on. She's pissed off that Rock is still doing business with him. She wants him gone. Now, Rock explains why she's dealing with Unique. She needs him because the whole Italian deal, but, you know, she's just using him as of right now. Eventually, he will not be an issue. And he also learns about Rock expanding out there to, you know, DC, Maryland, that area. So she tells him about that. Juliana's like, look, we don't need, hell, you don't need Unique to build. But we know Rock tells her, look, we cannot move off emotion. She will handle Unique down the line. I'm going to tell you right now, Juliana need to be watched. Juliana is not playing around, and I would not be surprised if she's plotting and planning on Rock her damn self because she's tired of being harassed and things happening to her because of Unique. So Rock, if you don't handle Unique soon, Juliana may just do something about that along with Joaquin. Now he is telling her, just let him know, you know, the details of her expansion. We know she was telling him about, you know, them moving out to the eastern seaboard or whatever. They about to just take over. So we're going to see how this is all going to play out. The whole time we got Abraham in there. He's gathering information. He's listening. He is trying to get whatever he can get to take it back out to Tremont and let him know what's going on. Now they know who Rock gets her money from. They want to know all the details about everybody that was at that table. And it seems like Abraham, you know what I'm saying, he was in there liking Juliana. So don't be surprised if we see something down the line with that. But this whole thing, in my opinion, is not going to end well for your girl Rock. Now, we get to Lulu. He's in the back of an alley by himself. And next thing we know, he catches a beatdown. We knew he was going to get jumped based off the episode 7 trailer. He did not have the money that he was told he needed to pay. Crown's problems is his problems. And this Letton character, he's going to be a problem for Lulu down the line until they figure out how to actually deal with him. But I guess getting that protection from Cartier done was, I guess as of right now, a good move for Lulu. But then again, was it really a good move? Because we know that deal that he made, Cartier Dunst is going to get 50% of the company, right? And like I told you guys earlier, we don't even know if Rock made that move with him or not, right? Because what if she did make that move? So this half that he's talking about giving Cartier Dunst, it could be Rock's half. And if that is the case, like I told you guys, y'all know that's going to be an issue. But that's if they want to go that route. It may not even be that at all. You know, Rock could have been, you know, a good sister and not have went behind his back and made that move at all. But we gonna find out for sure. Now, Marvin finally completes anger management therapy. He is good, and we actually saw his growth throughout the season. This man was very angry. I mean, he was tested a lot. He was tested. He almost beat that dude down in the wheelchair. He almost beat this scoopball head looking dude up right here, but he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? He learned a lot. Marvin was cracking on this dude, and the dude, he kept his composure. They were just laughing. It was good to see Marvin, you know, get to where he's at. Miss Renee, she's like, look, she's proud of him, but she wants to continue, you know, to have conversations with Marvin in the future. So expect Marvin to clap those cheeks in the future. That's been my prediction since I heard about her character, and I think eventually it's just bound to happen. But we know this next episode, Marvin, he's going to have to lay low based on what happened at the end of the episode with Marco Boselli. Now, your boy Symphony, he decides to be loyal. He could have been, disloyal or whatever you want to call it. He could have said, you know what? I'm looking out for myself. I'm just going to leave. I ain't got to tell you nothing about Detective Burke. But not only does he tell Rock about him leaving with his new job, he also tells her about Detective Burke pulling him over, asking about Kanan, his pops. Wanting to know all types of information where he didn't really have to say anything. And of course, Rock is like, what did you tell him? And Symphony's like, look, you good. Like, I didn't say anything. Your secrets are safe with me. And he tells her, he got to go. He's up out of here pretty much. The look that Rock gave him, you already know what she was thinking. Like, man, so he just gonna leave? Did he give any information up? She probably was second guessing every single thing. But we know she needed to go have that conversation with Detective Howard about thirsty ass Detective Burke, because she is an issue. And if you don't handle her, she's going to continue to dig and she's going to find out the truth, which, hell, in this episode, we know that's exactly what ended up happening. But what do y'all think, man? If y'all was Symphony, would y'all have let Rock know anything? I'm going to tell you right now, just based on how Rock is moving, if I was Symphony, I'm not telling you jack. Matter of fact, I'm not even telling Kanan I'm leaving. I'm up out of here. I'm disappearing. You're not going to ever find me in your life, because I don't trust Rock, especially after some of the things that she's done. And, Symphony, he's been nothing but loyal. Even last season, when Rock was pretty much downplaying him, telling him to just leave, he still told her about Dirty Tony Deep and how she cannot be trusted, right? So this dude is very, very loyal to Rock. And as I told you guys earlier, his loyalty almost cost him his life, which is very bad, right? So Symphony, just leave. Don't come back at all. Stay away. Do not come back trying to make things up or visit or anything like that. You got to, look out for yourself, because messing around with Rock, you're going to lose your life. Now, your boy Kanan, he continues to clap Palomar's cheeks. Look, he's having a good old time, as I told y'all. This is probably the best moment of his, teenage years right here. And while they're laying in there, cuddling up, your girl Corrine, she walks in, she's pissed off. She's like, really? So you going to sit up here and do this? And Palomar was like, look, the first thing a girl needs to learn is how to, hold down her man or keep her man or something like that. This girl, Palomar, she's on one. You know what I'm saying? Kanan is like, are you crazy? And Palomar was like, look, every girl goes through this. Kanan is like, really? Like, this ain't regular. Like, what the hell is going on up in here? But Palomar, she putting that thing on him, y'all. She kissing him like, look, you want to be regular? And he can't hold it. You know what I'm saying? He cannot control it around her. And this will backfire. We know that Rock about to know. Rock is about to know Kanan. Just like Detective Howard told Rock that Kanan about to know. Oh, your girl Corrine going to let her know exactly what's going down. And she's pissed off. I cannot wait to see next week's episode. I want to see how everything is going to play out. But y'all let me know, what did y'all think about this whole little storyline between Kanan and Palomar and her daughter Corrine? Now, Lulu goes to Cartier Duns. He needs money. He needs money to pay off Linton. I can't wait to see this character. But Linton is the issue. Now, of course, Cartier Duns is telling him, hopefully Crown does not be a problem. And, Lulu tells him he's not. He's good. We ain't got to worry about no Crown Camacho no more. But he also tells Lulu about, Crown Camacho's percentage, his half of the company. What's going to happen with that? Can he get half? And if he does get half, he can be a silent partner. He can help him with protection. He can help him with Linton Manley, of course. And he said another man's crisis is another man's opportunity, right? So Lulu decides to make the deal with Cartier Duns, knowing who he is. But then again, I don't believe Lulu really knows how dangerous this guy is. But he's going to find out. He going to find out very, very soon. I can't wait to see the conclusion of this whole storyline. I don't see it ending well. Zisa being involved, we already know he going to want certain things for her. It's going to backfire. Plain and simple. It is going to backfire. Like I said, I believe he signed a deal with the devil, and eventually he going to see exactly what time it is when dealing with Cartier Duns. Now, Jukebox has a date with Corey, and I believe everything was cool. You know what I'm saying? They probably did have some good chemistry and stuff like that, but we know Jukebox, we know who she really is, and we know who she's really attracted to. But Corey, he goes in, he gets a kiss, and the kiss let us know everything we needed to know. Jukebox's facial expression told us everything, that this was not it, and that she likes girls, plain and simple. Now this Corey dude, he's going to continue to press Jukebox. He's talking about kids in the future and stuff like that. So this guy, you know what I'm saying, he is lusting for some Jukebox. He want to get up in that. But we know this is not going to end well. The truth will eventually get out there, and it's not going to be pretty, in my opinion. Now, we get to Dominic, aka Ernest Knows Best, Pee-wee looking boy, and we know he about to mess up. He's with Marco Boselli. Marco was telling him, don't tell his pops about anything, and more importantly, don't mess this up at all. Whatever you do, don't mess this up. They go in. Tony Deep is getting her cheeks clapped one last time. I guess Tony Deep Throat had it coming. I was waiting for this moment since season 1. Your boy Marco goes in, one shot to the dome. Tony Deep is up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Rest in piss. Then we get, a scuffle between Marco and Tony Deep Throat's fiance. They struggling on the ground. I'm not understanding why, Dominic doesn't just go up with the strap, put it to his head or something. Get a better shot to just shooting at these guys, tussling with each other. That doesn't make any sense at all. I think you would have a better chance if you just walked up and got a clear shot. He ends up shooting Marco Boselli. Marco Boselli, we smoking on that path tonight. He gone. He up out of here. Meanwhile, the fiance grabs the strap and he lets off a couple rounds on this dummy. This dude end up getting hit. Now he's leaking. And the fiance is able to survive. I just knew this game plan wasn't going to work. I think we all knew it was not going to work. I'm trying to figure out why in the hell Marco Boselli decided to bring Pee-wee with him. Like, why would you bring this dude with you? He's a screw up. Now you're not here anymore. And now they're not going to be good for your boy Marvin. We know the Italians, they're going to be pissed off about this news. Now, Rock and Detective Howard, they finally meet up. Howard is telling her about how he got famous out and how, they picked up a bag of dirty money. He figured it was hers. He was looking out. He did what he had to do to protect him and also Kanan. Now, Rock tells him about the information of, Detective Burke going to Symphony, asking all these questions about, Kanan, him, and stuff like that. And Howard ain't really pressed. He's like, look, Burke ain't gonna do nothing or whatever. I mean, he's pretty much just downplaying it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Rock was right. You better take this serious, because if she puts 2 and 2 together, it can be serious for them. So he has to take that a little bit more serious. Now, Detective Howard does let Rock know that Scrappy was no snitch and it was his mom's the whole time. Rock was pissed off. She's like, look, you told me he was a snitch. What the hell is going on? Detective Howard was like, look, I messed up. I made a mistake. I mean, what's going to happen with you when Kanan learns about your mistakes and the things that you've done in the past? What are you going to do about that? We know Rock was very upset about this. At the same time, we know Detective Howard told Rock that Symphony is probably going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Based on that conversation and, how Rock responded, she believes he may be an issue down the line. So all these different things is going through Rock's head. She's second guessing. She's like, man, so I done took out Scrappy for no reason. I mean, all of this is just not adding up, right? So she wants to make sure she makes the right move this time around, and she is thinking about taking down Symphony. That way, she don't have to worry about him opening up his mouth. But as I told you guys, we saw how Symphony handled himself in the past. He continues to show how loyal he is to her. He doesn't owe her anything. He doesn't have to even tell her about some of the things that's going on with Detective Burke coming to him. He could have, kept his mouth shut. He could have just left, but he didn't do it. So Rock has to make that decision on what she wants to do by the end of this episode. Now, we get to Detective Burke, and she's put everything together. She knows that Rock was the CI. She's pretty much put it together that Detective Howard and her slept together and that Kanan is the child. Now, she's talking about only thing she can't figure out is why, he ended up getting shot, the whole shooting thing. So what's going on with that? Now, Adina is telling her, you need to just lay off this. Leave it alone. Detective Burke is talking about she's investigating the shooting. Adina is telling her, no, you're investigating, an officer. You're investigating Detective Howard, not the shooting. This is more of an eternal type of a thing that you're doing, and just stay away from it. But Detective Burke ain't gonna listen. She's gonna continue to dig until she finds out every detail about this. And this is what Rock was talking about. You know what I'm saying? That Detective Burke will put it all together. Detective Howard didn't really take it serious, but it will come back on him. And will Detective Burke actually be able to survive with knowing all of this information? I got a feeling it's not going to end well, just based on what we've seen in Power history and how things like this, they don't usually play out in the favor of the person that has information that Detective Burke has. But we're going to find out. Now, Corrine said, you know what? Rock is about to know. I ain't about to just sit up here and let her, not know about her son hooking up with my mom's. And she gonna know the truth. And, she was just pissed off that Palomar messed around with Kanan. Next week, we will see what's going to happen between Rock and Palomar. We know that strap we get put to her dome. And it's going to be a sight to see, y'all. So do not miss next week's episode. We already know episode 8s, they're usually very, very good. And I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in next week's episode. Now, Jukebox, she goes to Nicole's spot and she wants to drop off the tape that she got repaired of her and Nicole for her father. Now, while she's doing this, she ends up getting out of there. We know James comes out to the door. He sees the tape. And then as he's looking at the tape, Detective Howard comes out of nowhere. And Detective Howard, he walked right past Jukebox and he didn't even see her at all. And he goes up to James and he asks him, he wants to pretty much just know some things about Detective Burke. As I told you guys, do y'all believe this is going to come back? We know Jukebox was out there watching, and I want to know if she heard enough to go back to Detective Burke and try to help her out in the things that she's doing. And the reason I say that is because Detective Burke has went out of her way to help out Jukebox, so I'm expecting the Jukebox to do the exact same thing. And come on, James, he got to know that Jukebox was the one to fix this tape, just based on that conversation that they had at the very beginning of the episode about that tape. So I believe deep down inside, he knows Jukebox was the one that did this. Now, at the end of the episode, we can see Lulu back in the studio. Zisa, she's in there recording another song. You already know it's going to be a lot more pressure on Lulu to make things work with Zisa and also make sure things are good with Cartier Duns and this whole new business, deal that he just made. You already know it's going to be some tension down the line. I just can't wait to see how everything's going to play out. And I want to know how Lulu's going to deal with everything. I told y'all Lulu's getting more darker each and every episode. And I'm expecting to see more of it by the end of the season. Now, we also see Tony Deepthroat's fiance. Of course, he's being questioned about what happened. He is able to survive. You can see him right here, which could lead to some bad things. It can be some consequences for this by allowing this dude to live. You already know it's not going to end well. And we can see Dominic, aka Ernest Knows Best, Pee Wee, Freddy Krueger looking boy right here. He's fighting for his life. He's about to be, getting smoked on very, very soon. But we're going to find out if he's going to be able to give some information to Sal Bocelli or anybody before his life is over. Episode 8 should reveal that. Now, at the end of the episode, Rock, she's, contemplating on what she wants to do. She had a conversation with Detective Howard about Symphony, and probably he needs to be taken care of based on how she, responded about him being a problem. She knows she made a mistake taking out Scrappy. She felt bad about it, especially a guy like Scrappy who was loyal to her. Symphony is the same way. He is loyal, but he also allows Rock to know everything. He tells her when people pull him over, like Detective Burke. He tells her about people like Tony Deepthroat not being loyal, talking to the boys, and how she can't be trusted. And like I told y'all, he could have lost his life easily. Rock does not shoot him, and I'm glad, because I didn't want to see your boy Symphony go. I was about to be pissed off if Rock was going to lay him out. And Rock, she would have felt real bad about this one, y'all. But she understands the business. She understands, things like this happen. And this is the life that she signed up for. Will she regret this? That's the question. That's what we got to wait to find out. But if I'm Symphony, I am not turning around. I'm getting the hell up out of here. I ain't never coming back to this girl, because if he does, he's going to end up losing his life. But you guys, y'all let me know. What did y'all think about episode 7? It was a crazy episode, man. A crazy episode from the leaks, from the action that we saw, from Kanan clapping Palomar's cheeks, from all these secrets finally getting out there. We're getting to the, the end of the season. 3 more episodes left. And I'm going to tell you right now, you do not want to miss these last 3 episodes, man. I cannot wait to see how Rock's going to deal with everything, and also how Kanan is going to deal with his moms, and what's going to happen with the Italians, Unique, and Rock's whole game plan to expand. Will everything go the way she thinks it's going to go? I don't think so. I think dealing with this Tremont character, she's going to be in the rude awakening. And I believe she needs to continue to keep Joaquin happy. And she also needs to watch Juliana, because Juliana ain't playing. She's like, look, if you don't do nothing too unique, I will. So expect to see, some backlash from all of this. And hopefully we get the conclusions of all these storylines by the end of the season. But I want to thank you guys for all the love, all the support. I will be dropping my what to expect for episode 8 in my next video. So be on the lookout for that. But let me get up on out of here, man. It's your boy Mark Dark. I'm out. Peace.